tell me, Louie, tell me about how a human being is committed to working with a place for 40 years. I mean, nobody gets committed to anything hardly for 40
I think
years
60
nowadays.
years.
60.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You started working
1960.
at Boston
But
19.
I came here in 1956. But
Okay.
then I got into the bowling business in 1960 when we opened.
Wow. Wow. Has Boston Bowl been run by the same owners then since the very
The
beginning?
same owners, the Strazulas and the San Martinos.
What are we on, 3 generations?
It's the third generation now. Counting the father would be 4.
Wow. Wow. And how did you decide? How did you decide I want to do that?
Well, what happened was I was in the masonry business. And what happened, I come here to do a job. I sent a couple of men down to do some work. And I got along real famously with the owners. And anyway, one of the brothers come up to me and asked me if I'd be interested in getting into the bowling business. Well,
Yeah.
what happened? When I got discharged from the service, well, in those days, in World War II, it was shell shock, but now it's post-traumatic stress.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I had quite a bit of it. So what happened, I had made a promise to God, if he'd let me get home, that I would try to help an individual every day of my life. So
Oh,
that
wow.
I had to take, and I had to get into a business where I met a lot of people. And sure than being an American, solid American of Italian descent, and being a Catholic, I got into this business, and he led me right down the road. Now, the big thing was this. I wasn't feeling very well because I just got out of the service. And what happened, the boys took me in, and after we opened, just before we opened, a couple of weeks before we opened, the mechanic got sick. So they asked me if I would go to New York to learn the machines. So I did. So I became a mechanic. After the mechanic, they called me in the office, and they said I'd be interested in wondering about the cleaning, and I did that. After that, they said, would you be interested in working on the counter? So then I says, boy, I meet a lot of people at the counter.
Oh, wow.
And what happened, having the post-traumatic stress, what happened, meeting all these different kinds of people, the best college in the world, there was no way any hospital or any college could ever replace what I learned being at the counter of Boston Bowl. I have children that have started here, and as 4 years old, I have a fellow named Bob Lynch. He was 4 years old. Every Saturday morning, he would come in with his grandfather, and things were a little tough in those days for him. Anyway, he would come in, hold on to my pants, walk down the concourse, say, I want pancakes. So we got him pancakes, drove him to school, and today he's a big financial advisor. Today, my mayor of Boston, Marty Walsh, he was the same thing. He was a little hellion during younger days, and today he's mayor of Boston. I had him in the junior league.
True story.
Oh my God.
Had, Tommy Barrett as Chief Justice. I have senators, teachers, professors. I have all these children, and none of them have left. As Michael McBride can tell you, they're still with me every day, having lunch or bothering me one way or another.
I've met them all.
And the best college, you want to tell your people that one of the best colleges in the world is behind that counter, because it represents the company. You're the face of the company. And I used to have a man that used to come in every day and throw a sheet on the table and throw the money. And some of the help wouldn't wait on him. So I says, I'll wait on him. So he came in one day and he was throwing the sheets, and every time he came in, I waited on him. So one day he went to our little snack bar and we sat down. I sat next to him. I said, good morning. He said, good morning. And as he says, good morning, we got a little friendly. So finally he turned around on me one day and said, you know, Lou, he says, you take my money. You never say a word. You're always pleasant. He says, and I'm sorry I'm so rude to your staff. And I says, well, no, I understand. People sometimes don't know how other people feel on the other side of the counter. He says, well, my problem is this. I lost my 3 children and my wife in a fire. And I said, oh my God, I never got over it. But anyway, we became very friendly. And the man was very young. And so what happened, I was thinking and I was looking at him. And as the time went by, we became very friendly. And I introduced him in the bowling lanes to this wonderful lady. And they got married and they had another child. And
Oh my gosh.
to this day, they're still doing wonderful. And when people come up there, what happened, by me working on the counter, my post-traumatic stress started to subside. And I went to my psychologist at the VA and Brigham and Women and Beth Israel, and saw Louie Kaplan. And he was my psychologist. And I worked with him very closely for 50 years and working at the bowling alley for 60 years. So what happens, all these people that I met, I became the recipient of all the wonderful things. And the people that I met, now some of the people that I did meet, I never went to college. I finished high school, not quite finished high school. I didn't finish it till I got back to out of the service. And what happens, the life that they could lead, if they have to get up in the morning and say, gee, I got to go in there and go to work. Oh my God, might as well forget it. You want to say, hey, I got to get up. I got to get in there. I got to do, and forget what the owners have and what they don't have. Because I've been here 60 years and the Strazulas and the San Martinos, never did I ask for a raise. And if I had a problem, they were there unbelievable. They were unbelievable. And so one fellow one day turned around and says, he says, one of the owners, this is the seniors, one of the owners, oh, he's got a brand new car. And I didn't get a raise. I said, well, may I ask you this? Do you want a brand new car? He says, yes. I said, well, come in the office with me and I'll get you the proper papers and you can start paying the rent and the health and the water and come here at 5 o'clock in the morning and stay till 1 in the morning. And watch the pins and do the cooking and like the owners. Yeah. He says, what, are you crazy? I said, well, that's what he does to get the new car.
Yeah.
Now, I can't give raises right now because it was tough times in the 60s and 62 or 63, I forget. But anyway, things were tough. But as time went on and being patient, the amount of people that the counter has made my life so happy. I mean, I have the happiest life. I had 4 friends who were millionaires, and they call me every day and they say, well, Lou, what are you doing down there? Why don't you come down to Florida and this and that? And I could go to Florida, but it's very boring to me. I was with all different people, all racial. So one time when the racial problem was going on, I talked to the owners, we talked together, and we went down and we formed a black league. And what happened, the man says, you want me to go down, bring a league down to that district? I said, yes, I went by myself. And what happened, he says, my God in heaven. And I says, I have a name for that league. He said, what is it? The BIB League. He says, what is that? Black is beautiful. And then then I went to another part of the city and I got all those other so-called miserable people and I put them next to them. And then I went to the Asian part and put them next to them. And they bowled in here for the past 60 years. There was intermarriages. I would not let the newspapers in. Okay.
Oh.
We sell bowling. We sell bowling and food. That's what we do here. And we make people happy. And we do not put this against that. He said, I said, or hate. Because there's too much in the world.
And we still have BIB. It's an active
And
league.
we still
one
have
of the
them.
biggest ones.
Oh my God.
We still have them today. And we still have all my junior leaguers, most of them. They had a little time reunion for me the other night. And all the people that were in my junior league were there from all
Oh
parts
my
of the
gosh.
city. From all parts
Oh
of the
my
city.
God.
But anybody that gets into the bowling business, that is sincere to make that their life and work in the bowling business, your customer service is so important. It is so, every aspect is important. The mechanic, you need the mechanic. You're a team. You're all the same. It makes no difference. I have a new general manager here, Mike McBride. He's the most wonderful, one of the most wonderful. I've been through 6 of them, and he's the most wonderful human being I've had. I've never had one come to my home but Michael. In a
Oh
very
wow.
short while, I read him right away. He cares for
Oh.
people. He's loving. He works hard. He doesn't say it's this hour to go home. It's this. And and to that boy that I was talking about before, I says, are you interested in working New Year's Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day? Are you interested in that? He says, no. Then you don't want the bowling business.
Right. That's right. That's right, Louie. That's right.
That's 24/7.
It is. It is nights and weekends, and it's not in my company, I have this character document, and it says we are not a nine to five business. We're a company who serves people in this industry, and you are not a 9 to 5 business. So how could I be a 9 to 5 business and serve you guys? There's no way.
And we can take a nice little vacation when there's no business. Because sometimes they think everything is, they see something and they think everything is gold until the bills have to be paid. There was one man, he was in the insurance business, a big man, very popular. And he came in, he says, gee, he said, we just opened up and we were the only ones in Boston. And he says, gee, I'd like to get into this business, Lou. He was bowling here. And I says, well, would you like doing this business? What do you do? I'm an insurance man. I'm making this kind of money. I says, well, you better think it over. It's a very tough business and you got to give up a lot of time. And he says, no, I'm getting into it. Well, for the first 3 years, he got into it and he was very popular. He was running his house at 95%. We were running the house maybe at, I don't know, 65. You know, sometimes I had clean pins, sometimes I didn't. But you know something, we could pay our bills.
Yeah.
Okay? And he was just giving everything away. Okay? Had no interest on what, paying his bills. The electric light company isn't going to say, oh, gee, I'm John Smith. You
don't have to pay.
Yeah. But you can't look at that. You have to be happy in what you do.
Yes.
If you're not happy, but as far as the bowling business, there's no college. At 93 years old, I'm telling you, there is no college that can get an education from that control counter. Is the most wonderful. I had a friend, a man, we were so busy one night and he was with 2 little children. And this is going back years. I'll never forget it. And so I see him, we had about an hour waiting list. And I look and it was getting late. It was about 8 o'clock. And I says to the man, I went to this other fellow in front of him. I said, do you mind if the man bowls with his 2 children? I explained to him, and I'll let you bowl free. He says, no, let them go, Lou. The man gave me his card. He says, if you're ever in California, I want you to stop and say hello. So 5 years went by, and sure than can be, my wife's husband goes and moves to California, to Long Beach, and lives there, the Queen Mary. And who's the head of the Queen Mary? This gentleman. He sends a limousine after me, takes me sailing and everything else.
Oh, my God.
A vacation didn't cost me a dime. He wouldn't let me pay. And I'd say, no, I have to pay. And he says, no, but that control and whatever it is, the help cannot worry about. Make off the places your own. Work it like it's your own business.
Yes.
And your bosses are decent. They're decent people. They'll look and they see if they care. And if you care, and you care, and I have been, my customers, our customers, we have been to weddings, cookouts. I can't get rid of them. I'm so sorry, I can't get rid of them. But they give me such a beautiful, happy life. And
my God.
That happiness brings health, and health brings
yes.
wealth.
Yes. I'm going to quote you on that. Happiness brings health, and health brings wealth.
In other words, if you're happy, you'll be healthy. If you're healthy, you'll earn all the things you want to earn.
Well, you know what? Because wealth doesn't necessarily have to be defined as money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can have a beautiful home. You can have 15-room house. We were having a golf tournament one day, and I was invited to Florida. I'm a terrible golfer. I cheat like nobody's business. I throw the ball. My arm got so sore, I can't tell you. But anyway, these people were together. These people were together, and they says, "What's that man doing here?" I says, "Well, he come to play golf." He says, "This is for heavy hitters." I says, "Well, I better go stand with him." "Oh, no, not you, Louie, him." Because he worked in the package store, a liquor store. I says, "No, I'm standing with him." So anyway, another fella come over and ironed it out, put him on a team. So I got a hold of the fella, said, "I want you to have a cup of coffee with me." He came up, I says, "Remember, you have everything they have." He says, "No, I don't, Lou." He's got $1 million condo. You got a $500,000 house a quarter of a mile away from him. Now, you have the same sun, the same ocean, the same stars, the same moon, the same weather. And you got your suit of clothes, you've had your meal. What is it that you don't have? The $50,000 that's laying in the bank of the $100 million? Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Happiness brings health, and health brings wealth. But the bowling business has been wonderful. And I actually think that a lot of post-traumatic stress people should really get into it. They
Yes.
really should get into it because it's done wonders for me. Here I am today talking to you here, and I have college people that before these gentlemen come in, that worked for us, that I was, telling them what to do and everything else. But I was just, if I had to sweep the front entrance, I swept the front entrance.
Amen. Yeah.
I had to fix the pins, I fixed the pins. Whatever my bosses needed, I made it just like it was my own.
Oh. Well, they are so lucky. I'm so happy to meet you. Sorry. That's how I do happy. Oftentimes I do happy right through my eyes start leaking. I want to come to Boston. I got to get up there. I want to meet you in person.
I want to tell you the other part of the story. When World War II broke out, I wasn't old enough to go in. So what happened, I went in and I got hurt on Okinawa. So what happened, I looked up, being an American of Italian descent, I looked up and I seen this big white circle, and I seen the Virgin Mother holding the baby with a white veil, and behind it was the clearest white that you could ever imagine. And things were going on, but it was so serene that I couldn't believe it. And I said, "God," I said, "my mother and fathers had me sign because they says, give us a good reason why you're going in, Lou. Why you can't wait till they draft you." I says, "Because he's killing people because of who they are. And I'm growing up with 3 of them. And I can't allow that." But just my luck, instead of going to Europe, I ended up in the Pacific. But to this day, I hope that I fulfilled the bowling was a secret. Bowling made me happy. Bowling cured me. Bowling did everything for me. Sent my kids to college. And the people that I work for, the company that I work for, is number 1, the best.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes, and I know they know how blessed they are to have you, and I feel incredibly blessed today to make your acquaintance. And I'm going to figure out how to get there sooner than later. I love it that you guys are in our program and that you've decided to entrust us with some of your sales and work there, Michael. I know our team's loving working with you all, and Louie. And I'm just going to go on record to say this is the best thing of my week. We do Think Tank Thursday because we think it's important for people to stop, do, and just do a little bit of thinking, and it just encourages me so much to have had you share your time with us today.
Give her a second. This is you cut out a little bit there.
I know my consent. I do have kind of a signature question that I'll ask you before we hang up. That, Louie, what do you do to help grow yourself or to grow others? Because I suspect you are all the time trying to have a better day today than you had yesterday. So how do you do that? What do you do to grow yourself and to grow others?
To grow yourself and to grow others. It's like what you do for all the DAB and charities.
And what's happened?
What you do for us here at Boston Bowl still for someone like me.
What do I do for something like you?
Yeah.
How do you keep helping them?
Well, I know this. I consider myself, if I see the man sweeping the floor and he needs help and everybody's busy, I'll sweep the floor. If I have to go behind the machine, I'll go behind the machine. Whatever it is I got to do, whatever we have to do, we're a family, we're all one. Titles, it don't matter. It don't matter who gets the credit or how far a man or a woman can go as long as the job gets done. And that's important.
Amen.
Well, you also have a very
That's
big
awesome.
impact on sales today
But
with us, and I think you can tell them what you do when it comes
on
to
sales, what I do is this. I make a ton of business cards. I can be in the dentist. I leave one. I introduce myself. I could be in the market. I go to the Stop and Shop, which is very rare. With my wife, I go to the bank, which is very rare. She got all the bank books and money. I've never cashed a check since I've been married. But anyway, what happens?
Sound like a smart woman to me.
What happens when I go in and my wife says, I'm in there all the time, and they're saying, where's Lou? Where's Lou? Because I give them my card and I say, can I help you? Is there something I can do for you? I can either get toothpicks or 747s, but I promote, and network. But you have to promote, no matter how it is.
That's awesome.
And let people know who you are and what you are.
That's awesome.
And then you'll be the winner. You'll be the winner. I didn't realize it. I go places. I go in the restaurant. I can't pay. I don't go anymore. It's several of them. I say I won't come unless I pay. Okay. But,
They won't let you pay.
and when you come down someday, we'll take you to one just to show you. Okay. And I wish you would come by. I wish you would come by.
Yeah.
And
I'm coming.
And the opportunities, the people that you meet. I've met people there that, oh my God, I went to Vegas. I took my family to see the World War II Memorial, just quickly. And what happened? You know where Reagan was shot? Right across the street, the famous hotel.
Yeah.
Well, where all the politicians stay. I got in there, and we went in there, and across the street was the restaurant. And what happened? I'm in there, and I told my son-in-laws and my son, I says, I'm paying. No, there was 10 of us. He says, okay. We get there, and all of a sudden the waiter says, there's no bill at this table. I'm in Washington. I said, I told you I was paying. All of a sudden the waitress says, the man is swinging into the door. Want to look at it? He opened the door, and this, I can say this, okay? He says, there's that skinny little Italian with the ravioli eyes. And I looked and I said, Eddie Foley, my God in heaven, what are you doing here? And this is a boy that he had committed something he shouldn't have done. But anyway, I told him Al Capone was a smart man, but he used it for bad things. And this is the way he ended. I took him in the office. I spoke to him. He was part owner of the restaurant. And on and on and on. And that's all from the bowling desk.
Oh my gosh.
That bowling desk, tell your people, if they have the patience and the kindness and the service, customer service is so important. And be true to the owners and be true to themselves and be honest. And if another man can take your job, he deserves it.
Oh, that's wonderful, Louie. I'm telling you, I think I could have you make all of our training videos. I want to just bottle. You know what's going to happen? People are going to see this all over, and they're going to be saying, "Where can I find my Lou? I need my Lou." That might be my next book, Louie, is Find Your Lou. I love it. I love it. I'm coming to see you.
Please, I'd love to meet you.
Thank you. Oh, I would love to meet you. We would have so much fun. Oh,
yes.
You just made my week. Michael, thank you. I know you and Candy worked your magic to make sure we could meet each other, and I can't wait. I'm coming. I may bring my husband. He would like you too.
We had a fellow. His name was Bobby Nasa, and him and I were involved in the first Dunkin' Donuts. I put the cement floors in. He did the carpentry, and Billy Rosenberg was the owner, and Ann Rosenberg were the owner of Dunkin' Donuts. And they said, "Lou, we want you to have a franchise." As a matter of fact, right outside the bowling alley is one that I built. And he'd say, "Lou," and I was doing really well in the masonry business at that time. So I turned around and said, "You know, I don't want to make donuts. I mean, when you're brilliant at 29, right?
Oh,
you
yeah,
get all the answers.
29, yes.
You know,
Yeah.
you're brilliant." But anyway,
Yeah.
as the years went by, we separated. We didn't see each other. So I wanted him to leave a legacy for him. So we started with Michael. Thank God he's the type of man that he is. He got a heart of gold. And he gives you more than a chance sometimes. But anyway, the big thing is we started a legacy for him. We went out and I raised money. We raised money for him. Plus he donates every year. Mrs. Rosenberg gives $5,000, and he started it off with $15,000.
It's a league.
It's a league.
Oh, wow.
Every Thursday for children from 8 to 14 years of age.
Oh my God.
With Bobby's name on them and everything, and
That's awesome.
That's just part of it. That's not even the surface. That's
great.
The surface.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
You know, Lou, one thing I love is you remember everybody's name, and you have such a respect. Like, it's important to you. I can hear it as you tell the story. It's important to you to put faces and names with the meaning of the story, and it just shows your heart and how much you think about those people. You know, I would think that the people that hear you say their name stand up straighter, feel more of who they could be or who they are because of your influence. Seriously. Oh,
it's true.
I'm gonna have to go have a big cry fit. I gotta go, Lou. I got other stuff I gotta do, but I'm coming to see you. This was so fun. This has been like our best Think Tank Thursday ever. Wow. And I'll be sure and let you know. We pre-recorded it, just for those of you that are watching. We pre-recorded it, so we'll let you know when it's going to air, and because all your friends need to see it. They do.
Love to meet you. Love to see you in person.
Yes, me too. Me too. Thank you, Lou. Really appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye, guys.
Thank you, JB.
Bye-bye.